was once referred as the black gold in this country, but now the name black gold has lost its meaning. The coffee industry, in which at one point was a cash cow to many farmers here in Kenya, is now in crisis. When and where did we exactly miss the mark? And what does it take to revive this industry? Now, WTV's This Week takes a closer look to this matter, starting with the farmers right here in Kiambu County to the top players in this industry who sit at the Coffee Board of Kenya. About 70% of the coffee in Kenya comes from the small-scale farmers, who are estimated to be about 150,000. And now the journey of these farmers in the coffee sector is long and winding. And perhaps for us to understand exactly where we are, we need to understand where we've come from. Let's put the coffee business into perspective. The coffee industry, which has been one of the key pillars of Kenya's economy, needs revamping and urgent intervention so as to restore hope to the farmers who rely on the crop for sustenance. Jumbi is one of such farmers. He has been in coffee farming for close to 4 decades.
In fact, it has lost value because during that time, 1960, 1970, we used to get a lot of money from coffee. But there came a time when it dropped. But although it dropped, we are still there working.
Another different grade.
So when did the rain start beating the coffee industry? The Kenya's major exchange underwent a decline with the fall of Kenya Planters Cooperative Union. At its height, Kenya Planters Cooperative Union served as an anchor for small-scale coffee farmers, offering them a variety of services including farm inputs, mailing, marketing and quality control services. The union facilities have stood idle since 2009, with some falling into disuse and suffering attacks of vandalism. KPCU was placed under receivership by Kenya Commercial Bank in October 2009, and Deloitte Consulting Limited was appointed receiver managers over KPCU's failure to repay a 644 million Kenya shillings debt. Its assets were almost auctioned a year later, but the government intervened. The union and the bank had been locked in a court battle over debt figures, but negotiated an out-of-court settlement. But even before the dust settled, a leadership dispute emerged at the giant Kenya Planters Cooperative Union in July this year, after the Ministry of Industrialization and Enterprise Development called for elections, bypassing the term of the current board. A move that did not augur well with the directors.
And this problem started the minute that it was obvious that KPCU was coming out of receivership. Interested parties tried to create a problem. And the parties that tried to create this problem have been the beneficiaries of a KPCU that was in receivership. And they have tried to cause confusion that may result to KPCU going back into receivership. But we've been resolute on our course, and we have held our course. So we are confident that this company will continue to emerge from the problems it had and go on to be the KPCU that it once was.
If really a director was here and was here during the director was responsible for taking this company into receivership, it is morally wrong for them to be brought back into leadership of this organization. Morally, it is wrong. Just after we've come out of receivership. Just when we are crawling out of receivership.
For the farmers, their only hope is to see the leadership wrangles in the union come to an end and to have the industry revived.
They should give loans and said farmers, agriculture, to teach us how to deal with the coffee.
At the moment, what KPCU is ready to do is, once it is ready to operationalize its activities, one thing it will do is find a way of getting subsidized prices to the needs of the farmers.
This is the second serious attempt at getting KPCU out of receivership. If successful, the out-of-court deal with the Kenya Commercial Bank could mark a turning point for the Farmers Union, which went down due to gross mismanagement and corruption. A long journey indeed it has been, and now to still put the matter into perspective, we are joined by Alex Mwangi, who has been in this business for the last about 10 years. Thank you very much, Alex, for finding time for us. We are indeed so grateful. Now, maybe you can start by telling us what are some of the challenges that you're encountering in this coffee business or coffee farming?
Some of the challenges is like lack of finances, because coffee needs a lot of care. One thing, you start with pruning. Second, weeding the shamba, spraying, pruning. Like now, you are doing pruning. And from there, then we go to the pulping and drying.
You know, despite what you are saying that you are struggling with finances, if what you are seeing here is anything to go by, you are really doing well in this business. So, what has been your secret to success?
What I've done, I've done the necessary of the coffee plant, like pruning. Second, spraying. Third, nutrition, that is fertilizer putting, manure, yeah.
And now also something else that you need to tell us is that now you've said that at one point you've struggled with finances. What do you think those people that are responsible, especially the top players in this business, should do to support the farmers?
What they should do is to look waangalie mkulima vizuri, and first by providing finances, if they'll be able to provide finances without bigger interest, because sometimes when you go to other millers, they are giving us interest. I mean advances with big interest, such that at the end of the day, when you get your money, utakuta pesa iko chini kidogo.
What would you like the government to do, or rather those people, the top players in this business who sit at the Coffee Board of Kenya, to do so that they can support the farmers in this business?
Oh, well, that's very good, yes. They have done something very good, in fact, very good. And they started this year. Because now we are, after we dry up our coffee, the parchment, we take to the Dandora Millers. They mill when you are there, so that you will see all your grades. After that, you go to the offices and you are given, with those documents that is, you are given a check right there on the spot, and you will get the money, so that you'll be able to go back to the shamba and do the like now I'm doing pruning. I can be able to pay my pruners, I mean my pickers, and you can also go further and do and prepare for the next year.
Thank you very much. Before we wind up, there's something that I would like you to tell the farmers who are uprooting coffee stems because they say coffee is not making money. What would you tell them the solution to have coffee making a lot of money in this country?
All right. I would urge them not to uproot coffee, because coffee has future. It has the future, and if the KPCU will go the way they have started, helping the farmer, then I think we shall be all right. There will be no problem. So don't uproot the coffee, yeah, because that has been good those many years ago, and we have now hope for the future.
There you've got it, very optimistic, the farmers here in Kiambu County, and they are hopeful that at the end of the day they will make profits. So where exactly is the problem? Is it in the coffee millers or at the Coffee Board of Kenya? After this short break, we'll be going to Dandora Millers to find out what goes on there. Keep it WTV. Welcome back, and we are glad that you are still watching WTV. Now, the condition here at KPCU Millers in Dandora clearly shows that coffee farming in Kenya is on the decline. However, this place is very important to those that are still in coffee business, because this is where actually money changes hands, as now the coffee is left on the hands of KPCU.
Kwanza ikija hapa KPCU inatoka kwa mkulima, na ikiingia kwanza mpaka ipitie kwa way branch. tunapima, alafu ikisha kutoka huko tunaingiza hapa kwa mitambo ya kushagia. Ikisha shagwa tunatoa grade 7. Hiyo ndio inakuwa grade za kufanya marketing dunia mzima. Kawa yote ya Kenya in back 80s and 90s yote ilikuwa milled na KPCU. Na ikiingia hapa kwa mitambo kama wakati wa sasa, mkulima analeta kahawa, ikishafanywa milling inagrediwa, ikishagrediwa anajua yeye kahawa yake ni grade ngapi hizo ambazo zimepatikana. Alafu immediately ailali anaenda to the head office, anapatiwa check cash.
Well, there you've got it. A lot of activities that take place here are all about coffee processing. But now the concern with the farmers is not about the coffee processing. Rather, it's by the pricing, what they take home after bringing their coffee here. So what determines the value for their coffee? Now, after this short break, we'll be joined by the Managing Director of Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, KPCU, to shed more light on this matter. Stay tuned to WTV. Remember, this is Solutions Barabarani, and we've come a long way from Kiambu County to Dandora Millers, and now we are just about to be joined by the Managing Director, KPCU, and we'll be engaging in a serious conversation concerning the coffee industry in Kenya. Thank you very much, sir, for finding time for us. And maybe to start us off, we are just from Dandora Millers, and we are meant to understand, that place is very important to farmers because it's from there that they get the value of their coffee. So exactly, maybe in a nutshell, you can tell us what happens in Dandora.
That's where parchment is delivered. Once parchment is delivered, it is milled, graded, liquoring occurs, and we're able to have the ultimate bin that is taken either to the auction or taken to our upmarket people.
Some farmers have very strange stories, very unique, and it's very sad. For instance, one in 1999, after selling about 200 bags, he did not receive anything from KPCU during that time. So perhaps you can also tell us the strategy that you are having so that you make sure this one does not occur again, especially at this point in time.
You need to look at KPCU from many dynamism. There's a time when KPCU and Coffee Board were the sole millers and marketers of coffee, where the market was restricted, and KPCU therefore was a monopoly of sort. And all coffee farmers would bring their coffee here. It would be milled at this place here, KPCU Coffee Mills, or in Dandora. Then it would be taken to Coffee Board to sell, and the proceeds would come back, and then the farmers would be given their due, less statutory deduction. Then KPCU was a monopoly, and it suffered challenges, governance challenges, like any other monopoly would have faced at that time. Coffee prices in the world plummeted, they went down, and when the market was liberalized, just like any other sector, KPCU was not ready to play its significant role. That's when the decline started. In the process of that decline, there are farmers who lost out. There are farmers who lost out because of structural issues. What we have is today is a system that captured those debts. For example, in 2009, just before KPCU went into receivership, there are farmers who had brought their product to KPCU to be milled. Then all of a sudden KPCU went into receivership. When the receiver came in, they did not honor a quarter of those payments. So those payments, that is a debt we have to farmers, about 65 or so million of coffee that was delivered in 2009 and was never sold. Now, traditional ones of 1988, 89, those ones we need to go back into our records. And those are isolated cases. Those are isolated cases because it will be regulated by Coffee Board, because they are the marketers. But we can still extract that chain and be able to find where did the rain start beating that farmer, or where was there a flow. But what is in our system today is debts of farmers who supplied products, who supplied coffee, which was milled and marketed and sold actually in the coffee season 2008-2009. Then KPCU went into receivership.
Okay, sure. Now, what's the solution to the coffee industry in Kenya? Is it, do we have to look at the international markets, or is there a way that we can still make money with our coffee here in Kenya?
What we need and what we believe is a solution is, rather than look at international markets as a solution, we need to develop a coffee drinking culture in our country. Majority of times, they ask people, let me buy you coffee, but in actual sense, you want to buy them a beer. Our coffee dates are actually a beer drinking opportunity or a tea drinking opportunity. If we as a country can reverse and say we want to develop a culture of coffee drinking, our current local consumption of coffee is less than 5%. If we can increase it to 10%, to 20%, it means all the coffee that is produced locally, we can generate a cup, we can put it on a shelf in the supermarket, and people can buy it in equivalent measure the way they buy tea. That is where the disconnect is. Our local demand is low, our yield per acreage has shrunk, and our yield per tree has also gone down. It's a combination of factors, plus the farmer is a demoralized person. So what comes out is not really the best of coffee. A lot can be done, but to reverse all these losses, our solution is what I'm talking about, the cash now model. You bring your coffee, 24 hours we pay you. We become the risk taker. If we sell more than what we bought for you, we should be able to get into a revenue sharing arrangement so that it becomes a bonus of sorts. That's a matter of discussion, that if the industry accepts it, if regulators accept it, then we should be able to pay coffee farmers then and then at the point of delivery. That changes the ballgame.
And maybe you can share some success stories about KPCU, because, you know, KPCU has been having wrangles to do with leadership, and perhaps you can tell us what you've achieved.
KPCU has been in receivership from 2009. And for 5 years, this board, for 2 years actually, this board was appointed in 2012 on an interim basis. In 2013, an AGM was held, and the term was confirmed for a period of 3 years. In that short period, they were able to remove KPCU from receivership. We are thankful to other creditors who have not come in and jumped on us and pushed us to a situation where we want to close shop. We are grateful for the government for giving us our milling licenses. We are about to receive our marketing licenses. We are about to resume operation proper. The moment all those gel in, then we take KPCU to a new level, and we are able to add value to farmers. So for me, the greatest success is to take KPCU out of receivership and put it on a path of growth. Because all this building, look at this office, look at the infrastructure around here. You were in Dandora, you see that infrastructure. That is farmers' property. Farmers sweat, toiled to make contribution and sell to have all these things. It is good to return a profit to them. It's good to return this organization to them. Otherwise, sharks would have taken it.
What is your message to farmers, especially those that feel disappointed and at one point they are looking at other ways of farming and engaging in other activities? So what would you tell them about coffee farming in Kenya?
The coffee business model shields brokers and passes on all the risks to the farmers. Now, with the cash model, we are taking over the risk. Saying if you're a marketer, if you're a miller, take this, buy this coffee. Yeah? You suffer the risk. Take it to the auction. Find marketers out there, but pay the farmer his due at the point of delivery. The moment you do that, then you relieve the farmer of any other pressure. Because we can store it. We have over 950,000 square feet of go down in Dandora. We can store coffee there. Then we sell it at appropriate time as we wait for the best price. But then, because all those are management options, we relieve the farmer of going through that stress of management, buying and selling. We buy the coffee from him, we give him. We tell him, go back, do that which you know to do best, which is planting and managing coffee. The plant. Bring us parchment. We grade, we mill it, we pay you. Then us now, we will go and meet other people. Because we have access to internet and global prices. We look at New York Board of Trade, we look at Chicago thing, we look at the auction price, and we can determine through differentiations in pricing and be able to say, today, if I buy coffee today, or 6 months from today, I'll be able to sell coffee at this price. And negotiate with the farmer and give him best value because of net present value of now. So, all those dynamics. Me, I believe that is the only solution of revitalizing coffee industry. Here we are telling them, if you bring it, 24 hours, you get your check. It's not a con game. You've gone with your money. It hasn't happened in the entire livelihood of yours. So let's try it out. Give us a chance. That's the story about KPCU.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kioko, for that information. Indeed, we do hope that one day the farmers will smile all the way to the bank. Right there, we've come to the end of our show, that is Solutions Barabarani. Feel free to interact with us on our social media platform. On Facebook, it's WTV Kenya, and our Twitter handle is at WTVKE. You can also send us a text message through our SMS line, that is 20058. I've been your host, Elijah Mwangi, and on behalf of the entire crew that was responsible for Solutions Barabarani, a big thank you for keeping it WTV. Till next time, God bless you.